Hey there, Black Bear Nation. I'm your host, Mitch McGee, with another edition of the Black Bear Report. This afternoon, I have Head Coach Clint Mylymok on for a quick interview session. Clint, we're going to switch things up this interview. I'm going to ask you a little bit about life outside of hockey.
Perfect.
So a little birdie told me that you like to surf.
Well, I tried to as much as I could growing up. I grew up in California, on the coast, and that was my favorite thing to do by far. So like skateboarding, surfing, played hockey, played a lot of sports. My parents were the type of family where I look back, I think it's amazing what they did for us. We had four of us total, and we were very busy. But surfing was probably my number one thing where teenagers are hard to get up in the morning. I could get up at 4:30 to get to the ocean by 5 and be in the water. So loved it. And I haven't been on this coast yet, but that's something I plan on trying this summer if we get some time.
You still get some reps in pretty often? When's the last time you went surfing?
A year ago.
A year ago?
Yep, about a year ago. So, actually, it wasn't a year ago, it was this summer. It was actually in New Hampshire. So I was there for, was at UMass Lowell for a hockey camp and a couple days to spend out in that area. So my buddies and his family live in New Hampshire off the coast, so we just happened to drive by one day, and some waves were pretty good. So I asked him to please find someone who has a surfboard, and he was nice enough to call his neighbor, and so that was the last session I've had.
Gotcha. I'm sure the waves weren't as pretty on this coast.
No, it was cold. It was cold, but it was well worth it. It's always fun just to go in and paddle around. I don't care how small the waves are. It's just fun to get out.
Yeah, I've heard you're a water guy of all types. You like fishing as well?
Yeah, a little fly fishing. I have a twin brother, and he's the one who got me involved in that about 4 or 5 years ago. And we'd be up in the mountains, up in Idaho or Montana, and I would fish a little bit, but then I watched my nephews and him fly fishing, and it looked way more fun. So I started trying that, and I'm not as addicted as they are. Those guys are, they're in the river all day long if they could be, but I do love it, and I've gone around areas in Gunpowder Falls outside Baltimore, and also Western Maryland as well a couple times. So I've enjoyed exploring. I like to find a few more spots, but those are things that, just being outdoors, I love it.
So you'd say you and your brother kind of the Sedin brothers of fly fishing?
No, we're not quite there yet at all. My nephews and him though they're really good. Like they're the ones I'll literally be in the river somewhere, and if I'm not doing anything well, I'll call up my brother and say, what do I need to do? And I'll research it too, but sometimes it's nice to have someone there to tell you, hey, try this, try that. So I learn a lot by watching what they do, but they're definitely way ahead of me.
Yeah, definitely. Changing gears a little bit, this upcoming Friday night, it will be Valentine's Day and Black Bears game at the Den. What's your idea of the perfect date?
Usually it's probably not sports related. It would probably be something away from sports. So I like to do sophisticated things once in a while. So if you can get out to, like if you're living in DC, what better place to check out the arts, whether it's going to a museum or go to a play or whatever it may be, something different, something sophisticated. It's nice to go somewhere and do something that's not sport related. So I think that's important. Obviously, we're I think in a great area for restaurants. So you have to go to a nice dinner as well. That's got to be involved, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So I decided to dig through your Twitter, see if I could find any dirt on you before this interview. Can you tell me why you follow We Rate Dogs?
Because I think I'm a dog lover for one, and they have some great tweets. I haven't gone on that one for a while actually, but I think because there's some pretty funny things on there when it comes to dogs. But I grew up in a dog family, and I don't have a dog, but at some point, definitely that's in the play. But there's no mistake. If you know me, you know that I'm a big fan of dogs.
So I'm gonna guess you're a baseball fan too. You follow Vanderbilt baseball and a couple other accounts.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I played the sport growing up. I played through high school, and then didn't really love it. I loved it more after high school. I played a bit for fun when I was in university, just for things to do in the spring, and I didn't know about strategies as much, and it's too bad because I had some really good coaches growing up, like guys that were major league ball players, and I played for fun. I had no clue who they were really, and until I got older, and I was like, wow, I screwed that one up. I should have maybe paid attention. But baseball is a fun sport, a lot of strategies. And it's just there's a lot going on. So the more you learn, the more you realize how many things are going on, and you also learn how to cheat too, apparently.
Yeah, banging trash cans
Sorry,
and whatnot.
Astros fans.
So last one for you, Gritty. I saw that you follow him. Love him or hate him?
Gritty's unbelievable. What can I say? That's something where he's the anti-mascot, pretty much. So he does a lot of things that are in the gray area, and like just look at his face. I mean, they came up with a jackpot when they came up with Gritty. So outside of Bruno, I say Gritty's definitely one of the best ones out there.
Awesome. Well, another mascot we are familiar with this week is the Red Hawks. Could you talk about Hampus Rodquist and his commitment to play at University of Miami?
Yeah, it's a big moment. I mean, it's a big time conference. I think they're getting a big time player, so I think it fits the bill. He's a guy that's since day one he made his mark on this program and hopefully in this community and I think in this league. I mean, I always have questions of what schools are interested in this and that. I mean, there's a lot of schools, and he's just a guy who's a no-brainer. Anytime I talk to schools, I'm like, I don't want to have to sell you this kid. He's the top scoring defenseman in a very good junior A league in his first year in North America. And coming over from Sweden, there is definitely an adjustment. It takes some guys some time, but he's so competitive and he's such a warrior that he's able to overcome some of those things that maybe he was struggling with and learning parts of the game in North America, but he's such a competitor. I felt his game is more suited for North America, so the transition was quick. We're more than happy for him. It's good for the program, good for the league. More importantly, it's good for Hampus, and that was his dream coming over. He had a pretty big grin on his face when he knew where his final decision was, and he got a chance to visit the campus. I've been there. I've seen what the campus is. It's a beautiful place, and it's a good program with good coaches and a great conference. So, I mean, what can you say? We're happy for him.
Yeah, you've had a lot to be proud about. You've got 8 players committed on the roster now. You've seen tremendous improvement from year 1 to year 2. What would you say makes you most proud of your players?
The biggest thing is them just, for some there's different for all of them. For some kids, they learn how to compete. For some, they learn how to be better in the community and learn how to be involved and mature that way. Seeing kids recognize what their dreams are and being a part of that process. We're a small step for a lot of these guys in their careers, but we like to be a part of it to help show them the way, so they don't think they're coming in just to play hockey. They're learning about life and learning about what it takes to play at the next level. And the biggest thing I guess I'm proud of, most coaches will tell you, I think, is when their players graduate from school and kind of you see they're solid citizens, they're good people. You see kind of what they're about in life, and some are family men already for some of the kids I coach for my first year. So tracking them and seeing what they're doing and staying in touch with them. Some kids, they leave the program where I've been, and some aren't fans of you because they maybe didn't understand the message and they don't understand it's not personal. And then some of those kids you reconnect with down the line, when they grow up a little bit and they kind of see things from a coaching perspective. In fact, some guys that I've coached started coaching, like now I understand some of the things that you were trying to tell us back when I was 17 or 18. It's fun to see that and have those conversations, and so those are things I'm probably the most proud of, is seeing what guys are doing after hockey. I always tell them, don't be defined as a hockey player, be defined as a good person, a good student, a good role model that happens to play hockey. And if hockey can take you to your dreams of playing at high levels, then more power to you. I think that's great.
Absolutely. Well, Black Bear Nation, be sure to take the person of your dreams to the game this Friday night on Valentine's Day. Get your tickets at tickets.marylandblackbears.com. Thanks, Clint.